Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today is a very special video because today I am introducing you guys to one of my brand new oracle decks, Love Story. Yes, so today we're going to do a little walkthrough of this deck. I'm going to break down each and every single card within this deck, kind of go over it, review it. You can pretty much consider this your virtual guidebook for Love Story, considering it does not actually come with a physical guidebook when you purchase it, either on my website, shadowandshine.com, or Etsy. So that's basically what we're going to do today. And at the end, after I go through all the different cards, I'm actually going to do a sample reading with you guys, a collective reading using this deck. So, of course, it's going to be a love reading. It's going to be love related because this is a love oracle deck. So that's basically what we're going to be doing here today. Now, I understand you may not be interested in seeing all the cards and discovering all the meanings and all the interpretations and all that kind of stuff. I do feel most of my decks are pretty self-explanatory as it is, but I enjoy making these just in case anyone needs any clarity. And also for people who may not even own the deck, and maybe if they're just interested in kind of seeing the deck full out before actually making that decision whether or not to purchase it for themselves. So that's one of the reasons why I do these videos. So if you're not interested in any of that though, and you just want to dive straight into the collective love reading, there is going to be a timestamp down below. So just jump into that timestamp and have at it and enjoy the collective reading. As for the rest of you who are sticking around for the rest of this, before I dive in and start introducing all the cards and this beautiful deck to you, I just want to ask you to, first of all, go ahead and hit that notification bell if you decide to subscribe. So I would like to invite you to subscribe at this time, especially if I wind up resonating with you as a reader or you resonate in particular with my oracle decks. That way then you will be up to date, you will be in the know every time there's a brand new video, brand new reading, brand new live, brand new update, brand new any kind of information of any kind. By subscribing and especially hitting that notification bell, you won't miss a beat. You won't miss a single thing. Also, give this video a big thumbs up because that helps me out right here on the YouTube algorithm and pushing this video out and getting it seen. And as someone who is basically a solopreneur and does all this on her own by herself with no assistance, any assistance from the outside world like you guys is super meaningful for me, and I'm super grateful for, like I said, every like, every share, every comment. And speaking of which, drop me a comment down below too. Don't be shy. Feel free to say hi. Even if it's a simple small emoji, I would love to hear from you. Let's engage here. Let's have conversation. This is social media, so let's be social on social media, right? And once again, you guys, if I resonate with you as a reader, if you're interested in learning more about me, or if you're interested in a personal reading, your very own personal reading, head on over to my website, shadowandshine.com. I would love to be able to assist you further personally on your journey. And that way we're able to really dive in and get more so into specifics and what's going on exactly with you that we may not necessarily get into here in a collective reading that's available and open for the public. Also, once again, if you enjoy this oracle deck, Love Story, or any of my other oracle decks, those are all over on shadowandshine.com as well. So it's truly the one-stop shop for everything. You can also find these things on Etsy. And before we get any further, I would also like to invite you guys over to my Patreon. Patreon, it's such a beautiful place. I mean, yes, we can have community here on YouTube and other social platforms, but I feel like Patreon is more so close-knit and it's more so serious in terms of like if people are really, really looking for genuine true connection. This journey of life can be very lonely, it can be very isolating, and it's not meant to be that way. It's not supposed to be that way. So, if you're looking for like minded, like hearted people to connect with, people that you can call your soul family, your tribe, please come check us out over on Patreon. I would love to have you over there. You don't even have to join as a paid member. You could even join for free and, see how it goes from there. But the $5 tiers and up are the ones who do have the access to the Discord, which is where the primary hotspot is in terms of community. Otherwise, we do daily card polls, weekly card polls. There's other stuff happening too besides the community aspect. But either way, check out Patreon. It's a fun place. It's a good place to be. I like it. I patron other people too, so I can speak not just from the person who's like hosting the space, but also as someone who has been a member on other people's patrons, that it's just a really good and cool platform in general. So yeah, hop on over there and join us there. Otherwise, that's kind of all the 411. Links to all the things I've already mentioned, my website, shadowandshine.com, Etsy, Patreon, all of my other social media platforms are all in the links in the descriptions down below. So if you're curious, if you're nosy, check it out. Otherwise, let's get into this. I'm so excited to break down this deck for you guys. I've literally been doing like video after video after video every single day. Like 2 days ago, I did the walkthrough for In My Feels, which is like the twin deck, I guess you could say to this. It's not, I mean, it can be love related, but it's another deck of mine that was basically released at the same time as this one. So it's been kind of a tag team routine here, promoting both simultaneously. And so that was 2 days ago. Then yesterday, I recorded the April 2024 pick a card reading because, it's April now and I needed to get that out and available to you guys. I didn't want to wait until like half the month was over, obviously. So I got that out. And now today I'm working on this. So it's just been like one thing after another here today, which is fine and good. I'm obviously keeping busy. But let's get into it here. Most of my decks come in a very nice and secure tin for safekeeping, obviously. All of these cards are made with a linen finish, so it's very easy for shuffling and handling. The bottom card, I'm not even going to pull that out, but this is basically just the thank you for your business card. Has all my contact information on there, so we don't need to look at that one right now. We're just going to leave that there. But the rest of them we are obviously going to get into. So let's get into it. Let's check out all these cards. Get into our guide, right? All right, so first up, we have We Will Carry on Our Legacy Together and Have a Family. So that's sweet. Obviously, it's a love-related deck. These are all going to be love, romance-related messages. So this is like, if you have that special connection with someone and you want to know if you're going to have a family with this person, are you going to have kiddos, basically? And that's pretty much this confirmation that you guys will build your family together. Now, depending obviously on the desires of your own heart in this situation, it could be like actually giving birth and, becoming pregnant and all that kind of stuff. It could be adopting children. It could be even having dog children, whatever it is that you want for you in your life. But either way, it's about building that family, building that foundation together. So that is a beautiful energy right there. Always bouncing back into my life like a yo-yo. So this is like that yo-yo relationship. They're in your life, they're out of your life, they're in your life, they're out of your life, so on and so forth. And it definitely makes you feel like you're going a little bit kind of crazy. So that's what that energy is right there. It's very twin flamey. There's a lot of twin flame energy in here. And they all lived happily ever after. So fun fact, as I was making all the cards, getting them ready to go and everything in order of sequence. These are obviously not in order of sequence because I've been using them, I've been shuffling them, this, that, and the other thing. But the very last card that I created was the thank you for your business contact card. But right before that, this was the final card that I created in this deck, the happily ever after card, because I kind of wanted to end it on that happily ever after note. So that is kind of like that happily ever after feeling like, hey, you know what? You may go through trials and tribulations and ups and downs and crazy circumstances with this person, but in the end, it's all going to be okay. It's all going to work out. You're still going to get your fairy tale ending. And I know a lot of people out there are kind of like losing hope and love in a lot of ways these days and don't feel like fairy tale romances and happily ever afters don't exist anymore. Maybe it's all my Libra energy, and of course, Libra being real ruled by Venus. Maybe it's me being naive. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's me just forever living in that Disney mind frame. But I would rather live in a world where there is still hope for love than a world where it's hopeless for love. It just seems so dark and not good. And I'm not saying there aren't issues to deal with. I'm not saying that there's not the patriarchy to tear down or all those other things, because of course there is. But at the end of the day, there's got to be happily ever after somewhere in there, you know? So that's the essence, the emotion, the feeling, the energy that this card encapsulates is that happily ever after energy. So, hopefully we can all still move towards that in our lives, right? You are my true love. Oh, so we do have definitely plenty of sappy cards in here. So this is definitely, once again, it's capturing that true love kind of energy. Definitely not fly by night romance, but true love, true genuine love. Ice Princess, not trusting you. So this is definitely the energy, quite the opposite of if there have been issues and it's created a rift. And if there is trust, now it could be the feminine counterpart in the situation that has the trust issues, or it could be the masculine counterpart. Regardless of who's on the card, it's capturing that energy. It's definitely someone who's cold, unyielding, someone who is shut off, shut down. They're not open, is what it comes down to. They are not open at all, for whatever reason. Attachment styles. Um, Attachment styles are a factor. So we have the avoidant and we have the anxious person here, which I kind of laugh at this card because, we got the avoidant here. They're running away. They got, the little the footpath there, and the anxious person is trying to run after them, like, come back to me. So obviously this is a factor that can come up a lot in relationships, especially unhealthy ones. So in general in this deck, you will definitely see a lot of themes where there are karmic cycles, twin flame connections, soulmate connections, all those different types of patterns. So this is definitely referencing an unhealthy and unbalanced relationship. You put me on a roller coaster. You put me on an emotional roller coaster. So yeah, very similar to that yo-yo kind of vibe. The ups, the downs, the ins, the outs. Just feeling nauseous, wanting to get off of this damn roller coaster when it comes to love, kind of a thing. The distance between us is torture. So this could be physical distance, it could be emotional distance, take it as it resonates, as how it is applicable during the reading. But this is definitely in reference to where there are distance between two people, that there is not closeness, there is not intimacy. Things are probably pretty rocky. We obviously have a lightning bolt between the two of them, so it's kind of indicating something not so great. I seek the attention of others because it is easier than diving in deep with you. So we got a guy here who's quite a bit of a ladies' man, obviously. He is surrounded by a bunch of beautiful women. at a bar or at a club or something like that. And he's smiling, he's enjoying it, he's just eating it all up. And I mean, the card is pretty self-explanatory. Like, this is probably someone who has the avoidant attachment style, and someone who is more comfortable in surfacey, not serious connections. And if they're feeling depth and they're feeling intimacy towards you, they're going to flee from that, they're going to run from that, because it's the unknown, it's scary, it's terrifying, it's weird, it's awkward, and it's uncomfortable to them. What is going on over there? Are you being good? You might not be causing trouble. Sorry. I keep hearing like chaos behind me with my dogs. And I just, mainly with Tinkerbell. Tinkerbell is the troublemaker. I just want to make sure she's not getting into something she shouldn't be. It's fine if she plays. I don't care about that. I just want to make sure. Hi. Oh, you decided to come over here by me? Okay. There's a bed underneath the desk here by my feet, and she just crawled up to go into the bed, and that's fine. At least I know she's not causing trouble. All right. Just not that into you. So this is definitely referencing that energy of someone who's not that into somebody. So yeah, this is basically confirming the vibes are off. It could be like an unrequited crush kind of a thing. But either way, it's just like, hey, I'm not into it. Like, sorry, not into you kind of a thing. Fun adventures with you. So this is funny. We already had the roller coaster. You put me on an emotional roller coaster card come through, and now we have a couple running through an amusement park where there's a roller coaster behind them. But this is more of like that fun kind of energy, where you're just like living life. You're living large. You're having fun. You're enjoying your time together is what it comes down to. And with the new adventures part, it could be referencing like you are having new experiences with this person, whether it's in the physical world or it's on a spiritual or emotional level. You are definitely having new experiences with this person. But chances are the experiences are fun and they're thrilling and it's exciting. You are my muse. You put the creative spark back in my art. So we have a girl here who is like in the recording studio. She's recording some music. And, this is basically referencing what I feel like a lot of people go through. Think about it with music specifically, for example. A lot of songs are about love, whether it's falling in love or breaking up or whatever the case may be. But so many songs revolve around relationships. I mean, look at Taylor Swift. How many muses has she had when it comes to music, right? Um, but yeah, so that's kind of what this energy is all about. And it doesn't have to be music. It could be any creative expression. It could be writing. It could be a painting. It could be anything. But I feel like a lot of us, when we fall in love, when we experience that kind of depth, when we experience intimacy with somebody, it definitely inspires us when it comes to our creative flow in whatever area of creativity we kind of operate in. So that's what that reference is. I want you back in my life. So we've got this guy who's got this thought bubble and he's thinking about his ex, he's thinking about smooching her and everything. And once again, that's what this energy embodies. It's, the whole I want you back, I made a mistake. I feel regretful that you're no longer in my life. It's that longing kind of energy. So, yeah. Will you marry me? So, this is definitely a card of commitment. It is like taking things to another level. It could imply someone actually like heading down that path where someone may actually propose. If it's not at that point, it could be the proposal of a different kind of commitment. But either way, it's definitely a proposal of some sort of commitment. Remember me even when we're apart. So this is definitely in reference to someone being in separation from one another. But it's like, even if time and space and distance and all that stuff has been a factor, even if you are separated, you're still very much in each other's hearts. Whether you're like actively talking to each other and maybe it's physical distance, or maybe, you live in the same neighborhood, but you're just not on speaking terms. Either way, it's like, it's representing the fact that that connection, it never goes away. It's definitely like that twin flame, red string kind of connection between two souls. I feel you in my dreams. Another very twin flame kind of energy. So this is in reference to dreaming about that person. It could be you dreaming about them dreaming about you, but it's definitely in reference to astral travel, uh, telepathy, having shared dreams with one another, those kinds of experience. The kind of experiences that you more so experience in the 5D as opposed to the 3D. Okay. Next, we have, I want to wine dine you and give you the best. So we have this couple here in front of like this giant mansion in a fancy car, and they're holding their wine. And this is basically implying that whoever you're asking about, they want to spoil you. They want to give you the best. Like, they want to do better than just giving you mediocre, is what it comes down to. So it's like, even if someone's been avoiding you, for example, it could be because of a pride issue. They could feel prideful, because truthfully, in a sense, this is kind of a prideful kind of energy. They could feel like, you know what, I would rather not even be involved if I can't give you it all. Like, I want to give you it all, and it doesn't make me feel good enough about myself if I'm not able to do that for you, kind of a thing. So there's almost kind of a prideful energy attached to it. It would kind of be dependent on the other cards surrounding it, and also what the question was exactly in terms of interpretation. But it is implying that someone does want to spoil you and give the best for you, um, in general as a whole. No one sees me the way you do. True vulnerability. So this is all about vulnerability here. We got this couple, they're holding hands, they're staring deeply into one another's eyes. And with anybody, it can be really awkward staring into another person's eyes. And you have to be comfortable to do that. And the only way to reach those comfort levels is vulnerability, openness. So that's what this card is about. Let's grow old together. So we have this sweet little couple here, grandma and grandpa. And yeah, this is someone who wants that with you. They want to grow old together. That this is someone who sees long-term longevity with you. Once again, not a wham bam, thank you ma'am kind of situation. This is not a one night stand. This is like a forever thing, until death do us part kind of thing. This love is too intense for me. So once again, this kind of is common in the twin flame community, especially if someone is not comfortable in being vulnerable. If, once again, there are attachment styles at play, if someone is more avoidant and someone is more anxious, the avoidant person could run away because they don't feel comfortable in their emotions because it is too intense. And I know this can be very confusing to the anxious person, especially if they tell you, like, I love you, but this is too much for me. Like, it sounds like a cop out. And I get that completely. But a lot of the times they are like that because um, they were not raised in a way to deal with their emotions properly, to really deal with it in a healthy way. So it's kind of tapping into that avoidant energy. And it's not that they don't love you. They probably genuinely and really truly do. It's just they have craptastic ways of handling their emotions. Time to move on. There is better out there, not this lifetime. So this is the essence of moving on. Think very Eight of Cups in the tarot. the energy of moving on. We have this girl, she's in the airport, she's got her luggage, she's got her dog, and she's like, peace out, home dogs, I am out of here, I am moving on, I am not dealing with this bullshit anymore. She could have been someone who was in an avoidant and anxious attachment style situation, and maybe she's finally done being anxious about it, and she's not waiting around for her anxious or avoidant masculine anymore, and she's like, I'm done, I'm out of here, goodbye. So it's that kind of energy. It's moving on upwards, and ultimately deciding to live life on your terms for something better. So that could be, moving on and being single. It could be moving on and moving on into a healthier, better connection, especially if it's like leaving a twin flame situation and maybe going to a soulmate kind of situation. The moving on could look like a lot of different things. It doesn't even have to necessarily physically be moving like she is with the luggage, but it's that essence, it's that energy of moving on. I'm not ready to take responsibility. Yeah, this guy's super avoidant. It's like super avoidant, dude. Yeah, so, once again, this is someone who is not ready to step up. You may be looking for commitment, you may be looking to take the relationship to the next level, and they are just not ready to do it for whatever reason. This is someone who is saying, I am not there, I am not ready, I am not doing this. So, um, you know, typically guys mean what they say. So if he's saying, I'm not ready, I'm not going to take that responsibility, believe him, because he's not lying. Committed to you for all time, quite the opposite of that energy. So this is definitely referencing that kind of commitment. And once again, dependent on the question, depending on the surrounding cards, it could be a physical kind of commitment. It could be quite literal, or it could be the commitment in terms of the spiritual, in terms of the soul connection, um, tying those two souls together. So, once again, kind of dependent on the surrounding cards there. You are my best friend, my lover, and my lifelong partner. So, this is a beautiful energy, because, we can have this type of relationship in a sense chopped up and separately. Like we can have someone who is strictly just a lover, but there's no depth and there's no connection there, and there's no friendship there. We can have people who are just our best friends, but there's no spark and there's no passion. And the best thing is when you can have all of those different aspects combined together in one person, in one connection. And that's what this card represents, which I feel like is what we ideally all search for, and what we ideally would all like to have is, all those things combined in one. Let's create a family together. So, this is kind of referencing once again family, creation, pregnancy, all those types of things in a relationship. Feeling nostalgic. I miss the way we were. So, this is definitely someone who is reflecting on the past. They're reflecting probably on the good times in your relationship, missing you. It could be very similar to the I want you back kind of energy. But either way, it's nostalgic. It's kind of a bittersweet kind of an energy. Our love is eternal. We've done this many times. So, this is without a doubt one of those cards that will confirm to you this being either a twin flame or a soulmate connection, because it's always those people that we have done this many, many lifetimes before, that there's a deep soul level connection there, without a doubt. So, once again, that could be twin flame, it could be soulmate. Depends on who you are, what's going on in your life, but it's definitely referencing the fact that this goes beyond just this one lifetime. Ghosting you is easier than talking to you. So this is definitely someone who's been ghosting. If you've been trying to reach out to someone and you've just been getting static silence, that's what this card is about. Young love, my first love. So this could mean quite literally that someone who was your first love, someone you've known since childhood or since you were very young. But it's definitely that kind of essence. It also kind of taps into the essence of the inner child and the inner child of each person within that connection. Jealous. I can't handle seeing you move on. So, this is the jealousy card. Jealousy flares up. It happens in relationships. It could reference a third party kind of situation. Doesn't necessarily have to, but it's definitely, you know, seeing someone move on, seeing someone with someone else, seeing someone basically just be happy and you're not. And it's making you upset and it's making you angry, or vice versa. Staying away is my way of protecting you. So a lot of the times, especially in twin flame situations, the divine masculine will push away the divine feminine, and he'll do that as a way of protecting her. And a lot of the times, it seems very ass backwards, and again, it seems like a cop out. But for those of them that are truly doing the work on themselves, this card is kind of in reference to that. It's someone putting the brakes on the situation, not because they're going to goof off, not because they're going to go off with somebody else, not because they're not doing anything for themselves, but because they acknowledge they're probably broken. They acknowledge they need to work on themselves. This is someone who's probably prioritizing their mental health and, getting right within themselves before diving into the relationship. So it is a form of protection. They could be prioritizing going to therapy, for example, as opposed to being with you. And while that can be upsetting and it can be hurtful, at times it can also be very understandable at the same time too. It's okay to take those breaks. So that's kind of what this card is in reference to. My love speaks to you through music. So if you've been getting signs and synchronicities through songs, through music, through lyrics, you get in the car and all of a sudden it's like your song comes on. Once again, that's confirmation that that's them. They're speaking to you through music. Music, once again, is pretty key when it comes to relationships. And no growling, please, in the background because I'm recording. I don't know why you're growling back there. You feel safe. You are home to me. So, this is once again a beautiful energy when we are in a healthy relationship, when we are truly vulnerable, when we truly see each other for who one another is, and we give each other the room and space to be that person, flaws and all, loving and accepting that other person. We feel safe. We feel good. And that's what this card is all about. It's about being in that healthy connection, feeling safe in it. And don't we all deserve a love like that? Don't we all deserve a relationship like that? Um, both men and women, and I feel like men and women alike are hurting and are in pain because of patriarchy. Like, yes, we can definitely establish patriarchy has been super harmful to women for, hundreds, thousands, whatever of years. But it's also been hurtful to men because, you know, it's not benefiting them either. Like, it benefits no one. I feel like, especially most recently, most recently, within the past few years, the two things that have really killed vulnerability, connection, and romance has been the pandemic and late stage capitalism. I feel like if it weren't for those two things, we might be able to work on these things a little bit easier and better. And that's all connected to patriarchy, too. And I feel like I'm going on a separate tangent now, but I feel like these are all things that have kind of harmed and hurt all of us. Like I said, men and women alike. And we all deserve this, men and women alike. We all deserve that safety and that home with somebody. Let's run away together where no one will find us. So, this is definitely about being just like swept up in the moment, wanting to run away. It could almost be like that eloping kind of energy, but just like wanting to run away and have the rest of the world dim around you and just make the focus just being the two of you, is what it comes down to. And I don't know what's going on back there. I'm hearing all kinds of craziness. Are you playing or are you literally getting into trouble? Tinkerbell. Tinkerbell really is, she lives up to her name, okay? Let me just say that. She lives up to her name. Oh my gosh, why don't you come over here and introduce the cards, Tink? Why don't you do that? Your patience won't go unnoticed. I'm on the way. So, this is most likely tapping into that energy that the feminine usually experiences a lot of the times in a twin flame connection. Someone um, whose patience has been beyond well tested in a connection, and you're just done waiting. You're done waiting for this person to change, to evolve, to commit, to whatever it is, the thing you've been waiting on. You're just like over it. You're done. But it's kind of like that reminder from the counterpart saying like, hey, it's still going to happen. I'm still gonna like show up and do whatever it is that needs to be done here in order to make things right. So it's kind of like that reminder, not only from your counterpart, but also I feel like from spirit saying like, hey, this patience isn't going to go unnoticed. And even if it's not like that divine counterpart that shows up, it's going to pay off in some other way, shape, or form in your life. It's still going to happen. Something good is going to happen. Heartbroken. You've shattered my heart into a million pieces. So this is definitely, like I said, it's just that energy of being heartbroken. It could be the feminine, like obviously on the card. It could be the masculine too, but it's definitely that energy of just heartbreak. Heartbreak, heartbreak. Finally reunited. So this is in reference to a couple coming back together. It's union energy. So pretty self-explanatory there. I'm not good enough for you. So this is definitely in reference to someone who is insecure. They don't feel whole or complete within themselves. And because of the issues they have going on within themselves, they look at the other person that they're involved with and they just don't feel worthy. They don't feel good enough. And this can happen on either side. Masculine can feel this way and the feminine can also feel this way and not feel good enough for their dude. So it can go either way in a situation, but it's definitely the feeling of feeling unworthy, not feeling good enough. Fresh start, a new beginning with you. So this is kind of similar to being reunited, but it's more so like the beginning process of that reunion in a sense. It could have been like, things were not going very well for a while and you took some time away from each other. You had a break and everything. And this is kind of like the little buddings and the little blossoming of a new beginning where it's just like, hey, let's just dip our toe back into the water. Let's get to know each other. Let's kind of see where this goes. It's not like diving deep in. It's not diving in head first. It's just kind of wading your way into the love waters again very easily. But it's a good overall feeling. Like it's definitely a freshness, it's a newness, it's positive, but it's also taking it at a slow pace. Even in the worst of times, I will be there for you. So, this is a beautiful energy. The guy's laying in a hospital bed here, and, she's next to him being supportive. And that's just that, whether it's quite literally a situation like this, like physical illness or injury, or it could be anything, but it's just like, in life, we all go through ups and downs, whether it's connected to each other or not. And it's simply about knowing that person is going to be there, they're supportive, they're encouraging, and we can count on them in our time of need. Let's spend the holidays together. So this is definitely no barking. I'm recording. Hello. Sorry, you guys. Um, Sometimes when like a person or dog like walks by the window, they get a little crazy and they feel like they have to tell me about it. So I think they're trying to tell me about it. It's fine. I don't care. Okay, let's spend the holidays together. So this is definitely like the Christmas, the holiday card of the group. Um, so if the holidays are coming up around the time you're doing a love reading, it could be in reference to that. Even if it's not Christmas specific, it could be like maybe another holiday that's coming up. Like Easter just passed, so maybe it could be in reference to like, hey, we'll spend Easter together or something like that. But yeah, it's definitely that holiday kind of energy. Shadow, no barking, please. Would you like to walk through the cards for everybody here on YouTube? Do you want to do that? No? Then be quiet. Sorry, you guys. Okay, getting to know each other, too early to tell. So this is like the early stages in a relationship, in any relationship. But it's definitely the early stages. It's I guess you could say it's like the talking phase. It's the getting to know you phase. These two are having coffee. That's usually like, when you're just meeting up and having coffee kind of a thing. So that's what this card is in reference to. Please forgive me. I've told sweet little lies. So, this is the liar, liar, pants on fire card. Someone who has been deceitful, someone who's been dishonest, someone who has not been upfront in the relationship, whatever the lie has been. Crushing on you. Do you feel the same? So, fun fact, this was like the very first card that I made in this deck after creating the cover, because I made the cover image first. But it's like that's kind of where it all starts. It all starts with a simple crush, whether it's us crushing on them crushing on us, two people crushing on each other. That's where it all begins. It all begins with that sweet little crush where you got those butterflies in your stomach and you're like, oh my God, does he like me? Should I say anything? Like, should I touch his hand? Like, it's that kind of energy. It's like that very sweet, innocent, I like you, do you like me kind of energy. You've helped me in ways you don't even know. So, yeah, this is definitely about, once again, being there for each other, being supportive, being encouraging, helping each other. Especially when it says in ways you don't even know. Like, this could be the message coming through in the reading that, um, you know, to you, it could be like a very simple, basic thing that you're doing, but to them, it's something that means the world. Like, it has more depth than you even know or realize when you do certain things for this person or you say certain things to this person. PDA, I don't care. I want the world to know how much I love you. So, this is definitely that public display of affection card. It is someone who has no qualms whatsoever in showing the world, yeah, that they love you. This is not the kind of love that is hidden, that is mysterious, that is in the dark. This is a loud and proud and out there kind of love, is what it comes down to. So it's definitely not for anyone who, I guess you could say, is being shady and trying to hide you, kind of a thing. Marriage is in the cards, or marriage is in the stars for us. So this is the wedding card, the marriage card. I know earlier we had a will you marry me card that came out. So, if you're doing a reading, you could get like the will you marry me followed by this one that comes out. So it's definitely, once again, taking it to a higher level of commitment, even if it's not specifically marriage, maybe necessarily, but it could be in reference to marriage for sure. Once again, deep commitment, forever kind of love, taking it to the next level kind of a thing. Your friends are my friends are your friends. So, typically when two come together, um, if they have separate friend groups, if they have different friend groups, those friend groups will merge and they will kind of become one thing. And especially the more time you spend together, it's like they're going to get to know your friends, you're going to get to know their friends. And, this is kind of just like everybody vibing and clicking well together, is what it comes down to. Running away is how I cope. We got that avoidance. He's off again. He's running away. He's out of here. Peace out, dude. So yeah, once again, we got that running away energy, avoidant energy, someone who is not ready to commit, not ready to take this relationship seriously. I allow addictions to take top priority. So we have this guy here who's playing video games. And addictions could be a lot of different things. It could be playing video games like this. I feel like there are a lot of guys out there in general who do use video games as a way to escape. It's escapism, and not just when it comes to relationships, but when it comes down to a lot of things in life. It could be financially, when it comes to their job, when it comes to their family, when just when it comes to how they look at themselves and how they feel about themselves. This is how they handle it. They escape in video games. So video games can definitely be an addiction, but doesn't have to be video games. Take it how it applies in your situation. It could be alcohol, it could be drugs, it could be sex, it could be shopping, it could be food, it could be a lot of different things. There's a lot of different ways addictions can come out and express itself, but it's definitely representing addictive behavior being an obstacle and being a problem in a relationship. You make me feel alive. And that's the way we should feel, once again, in a healthy and vibrant connection. If you're in a relationship with someone and you're just doing it out of obligation or out of fear, or, anything where you're not feeling alive and you're not feeling good, that's not a good thing. So this is definitely referencing the fact that yes, feel alive, feel good, feel free, feel connected in this relationship. That's what we're looking for here. Summer love. So we had the holiday card come out earlier, and this is the summer card. So this could be representing a summer romance, a summer fling. It could be a representation of maybe starting your romance during the summer, meeting during the summer, but definitely a summer related connection to your love. The heart wants what it wants, and it wants you. So this is definitely in reference to someone who's missing that connection. Someone who is probably a little melancholy, someone who's a little heartbroken. Again, it's that very bittersweet kind of energy. They may not necessarily be saying anything or doing anything outright to express this, but it's definitely that kind of energy and emotion behind it. Your kisses are sweet like candy. I feel that's pretty self explanatory. So, sweet kisses between the two of you. Infatuation Nation. So, this is the energy of, once again, infatuation. So, this would be someone who's strictly infatuated. This is not love, is what it comes down to. That doesn't mean it won't be love. It could be early on in the relationship, and maybe it's just all infatuation, it's all lust at first, and then it eventually turns into love. Or it may not be. It could be someone who is strictly into this as like a fling, a kind of a thing, is what it comes down to. But either way, it's not love, it's not depth. It's definitely an infatuation kind of a feeling here. Making love to you is ecstasy. So, once again, it's pretty self explanatory. It is the spicy, sexy card of the deck. So, it is in depth intimacy on that physical level. I love our late night talks. So this is all about those late night talks with one another. It doesn't even have to be like late at night. It could be any time of the day, truthfully, but it's about having in-depth conversation. It's not surfacey, it's not small talk. It's not like, "Oh, how was your day?" But it's like it's the deep stuff is what it comes down to. You could be talking about the meaning of life. You could be talking about what happens after we die. You could be talking about all kinds of things, family trauma and history and all that kind of stuff. But it's deep stuff is what it comes down to. It's about connecting in a deep way in terms of conversation. Lone wolf, the single life. Again, very self explanatory. This is definitely in reference to someone who is single. Maybe they want to be single, maybe they don't want to be single, but it is definitely that single energy. You are my forever. You are my everything. So, once again, just like that very sweet, committed, sappy, you're my person kind of energy. So, like I said, there's quite a few of those cards in this deck. But it is a love deck. What's a love deck? What's a love deck without some sappiness? I'm like, what's that word? It's Mercury retrograde. Give me a break. Thinking of reaching out to you. So we got this guy who is kind of staring off into the distance. He's got his phone in his hand. He looks like he's ready to text. He's definitely thinking about it. So this is definitely someone who is in that kind of energy. They are thinking of reaching out. Now, mind you, the card does say thinking of reaching out. That doesn't mean that they're actually going to reach out. I just want to take note of that. It doesn't mean they're actually going to do it. Now, they could, dependent on other cards that come out surrounding this card, obviously, but this is more so the energy of just thinking about it. It doesn't mean they're actually taking action on it, but they are thinking of it. Though time passes, it always brings me back to you. So, this is definitely in reference to a connection that's probably been around for a long time, a connection that's probably seen the calendar flip through the months quite a bit. But once again, it's like it doesn't matter how much time goes by. It doesn't matter whether it's been days, weeks, months, or years. It's like this person never leaves your heart. You never leave their heart. And somehow you guys always wind up finding your way back to each other, no matter how much time has passed. That connection is very much alive and well. Just a fling, not serious at all. And we have this little text conversation here where someone has reached out and they're not really hearing anything back from this person. They're kind of being ghosted. So, this is probably someone who is not taking this romance seriously. If you only knew how I truly feel, what I keep hidden. So, this is about someone who's probably suffering in silence. Um, Someone who has definitely gone through a lot. They might have a bit of a tortured soul. They probably have a lot of healing to do. They probably have a lot of trauma in their life. And even though they should be open about those things and they should be vulnerable about those things, especially in a relationship, they probably keep it hidden. They probably don't say very much about it. For a lot of different reasons. They may not be ready to express it. They may not know how to express it. But either way, they're keeping a lot of stuff hidden. And, first and foremost, it's harmful to them because it's eating their soul up alive on the inside. They could probably use a little bit of therapy there. But it's also definitely going to be harmful to your connection as well, as long as they continue to do that. On the flip side, we have I'm working on myself to better our future. So we have a guy sitting here in a therapy session. So this is someone who is actively working on themselves, who acknowledges that, yeah, they have a lot of stuff going on there, but they also can't continue to live like that. They want to be the best versions of themselves. They want a healthy relationship with you. They want things to be better. So this is someone who is actively working on that. But like that's a great card, whether it is the feminine or the masculine in the situation, that can go either way, like I'm a big advocate for therapy. Therapy is a beautiful thing. If you can do it, do it. This love isn't love, it's toxic. So, this is reference to a toxic connection, a toxic relationship. It could be karmic. Either way, something that is sticky, icky, gross, and not fun. Player mode, not settling down. So we have this guy who is just going around kissing every girl under the sun. He is not ready to settle down. He is not ready to be a one woman man. He's playing the field. So, hopefully you're not connected to that person. And if you are, it may make you feel like this. No one makes me cry as much as you do. So, once again, very heartbroken, very distraught energy. This is a very real, raw, open, and fresh wound, is what it comes down to. So, yeah, I mean, she's bawling her eyes out. Her eyes are red. Her nose is red. It's just, it's not pretty. It's not pretty. Expect a text from me soon. So I know earlier we had the thinking of reaching out to you card. Now, this is someone who's not just thinking about it, but this is someone who's actually going to do it. This is someone who is, confirmed going to make contact. So that's what this card is in reference to. Someone will definitely be reaching out without a doubt. Timing issue. Not now, not yet. So notice this card is not saying not ever. It's not saying never. It's just saying the timing isn't right. So if something isn't working out in a relationship at this time, and you want it to, that doesn't mean it's not going to. It's just it's not right now. So some other time in the future, just not the right time for whatever reason. Connected body, mind, and soul. So once again, that's so incredibly important. It's important to have like all of those things in a healthy relationship, because it's like you can be connected intellectually, you can be connected emotionally, but if there's no physical spark there, what you have is a friendship. That's not a romance. But on the other hand, if all you have is physical, and you're not connected emotionally and you're not connected mentally, that's not love either. That's infatuation. That's just animalistic. So it's like the ideal is to have all of those things wrapped up into one. And that's the hard part. That can be really, really tricky to find. But with that card there, it's definitely saying in that particular situation, it is a possibility. We also have I love the way you make me laugh. So this is laughter, jokes, fun times, something that's very lighthearted. And laughter is so important in relationships too. Life gives us so many reasons to be serious and to feel down and out as it is. So when we can have the opportunity to laugh and keep it light and fun, we should take advantage of it. Healing me is healing for you. So this is kind of similar to that therapy vibe. Whether healing looks like going to therapy or meditation or Reiki or journaling or whatever it may be. When you are working on yourself, when you are doing self-care and putting yourself first, like that's not selfish, it's important. We don't need to be people pleasers for all of our life, but usually when we are doing the work that we need to do to elevate our own selves, it's going to impact the people around us, and ultimately it'll impact that significant other as well, and hopefully they will be elevated and they will go to that next level too. If for some reason they won't, then Spirit is going to bring along someone else who is doing that work. Smothered, I need space. So one person in this situation could be a little desperate, be a little clingy, could kind of be that anxious attachment style person. And when they're doing that, it could be making the avoidant type of person feel smothered, feel overwhelmed. So it's definitely in reference to that kind of energy, needing to take a break, needing to take some space. Is this a fairy tale or a nightmare? So this is kind of, once again, in reference to those ups and downs, the ins and the outs, the good times and the bad times. And it's like when you go through those things, it's like, am I having a good time here or am I not having a good time? Like, what am I actually dealing with here? Because I'm not so sure. All right. We've only got 3 left. Long distance lover. So, we got the globe here, we got the earth. And this could quite literally be in reference to physical distance between 2 people. If physical distance is not in your connection, then it's probably in reference to emotional distance between the 2 of you. I can be alone with you, even with no words said. So much is Even with no words spoken, so much is said. So this is kind of the energy of like, it's actually a very healthy energy. It's a comfortable energy. It's like when 2 people can be alone together, they can kind of do their own thing. They don't feel the pressure to have to fill the void with talking. But they can just be alone together. They can like do their own thing and they can be their own person alone, but they're still together. So, that's a good feeling. It's a good feeling to not have to feel the pressure to talk. Talk, of course, if you want to, talk for that connection and that communication and intimacy and vulnerability and everything, of course. But if you don't feel that you need to do that and you just want to be in each other's presence, that's what that card's all about. And finally, we have my family loves you as much as I do. So this is definitely in reference to that person's family loving you, accepting you, and welcoming you into their family, like with open arms, is what it comes down to. So those are all the cards. That is basically the breakdown here for Love Story. I'm going to gather these up now and do a little collective reading, like I said, for you guys at the beginning of this video to just kind of give you guys an example, a little sample reading with all this. But those are all the cards pretty much. So all of these, like obviously there's a lot of cards here. There are 78 cards in this deck. So that's why it took a while to go through all these. But I definitely feel like it covers a wide range of emotions and phases that we go through in relationships when it comes to love and romance. So let me just gather the rest of these guys up here and we'll do a little collective reading and call it a day, right? Oh, wow. It's like dark outside now. When I started going through these cards and walking through them with you guys, it was light outside and now it's dark. The sun has set. All right. We got all the cards here. So here's what I'm going to do. Here's the 3 questions we're going to ask. We're going to ask 3 different questions with this deck right now. So number 1, we are going to basically look at your past. So if you do have a person of interest, if there is a significant person in your life, it could be a twin flame, it could be a soulmate, it could be, whoever. Get that person into your view, into your mind as we set the intentions here. So question number 1 is going to be your past. We're going to look at the past in your situation here. Then we're going to look at the present, where you're currently at when it comes to love. And third, we're going to look at the future and what is coming up for you in love. So let's get into it. Oh, okay, that was quick. This is the past. Remember, you guys, the past. Is this a fairy tale or is this a nightmare? Okay, so right off the bat, you guys, I definitely feel like you've been through the ringer. You've definitely been through some stuff. You've definitely asked that question to yourself like, is this a good situation or is this a bad situation? I don't really know, but let's see what else. What else has been in the past for you guys in your love life, in your situation here with this person? Let's spend the holidays together. So, okay, we have the Christmas card coming through. So maybe you guys did spend the holidays together, um, especially this past holiday season for Christmas 2023. So, okay, that's cool. That's not bad. I hope that the holidays weren't a nightmare. But let's see what else we need to know. What else do we need to know in regards to the past in this situation? You spent the holidays together. You don't know if this is a good thing or a bad thing. What else is happening from the past in this situation? What else do we need to know? Okay. Remember me even when we're apart. Okay. So I do feel like there is a soul level connection here in this relationship, especially if you're asking, is this a fairy tale or is this a nightmare? It's probably your twin flame. I don't do twin flame confirmations, and this is a collective reading, so try to keep that in mind. Um, but it very well could be a twin flame. There's definitely a soul level connection here because you are in each other's hearts without a doubt. And I feel like that's almost tapping more so into the present energy. But let me see if I can get anything else from the past. Okay, past. You are my forever. You are my everything. So again, I feel like we're getting more confirmations here, you guys. This is um, a long term soul level connection. Just gonna move the cards here, try and get as much info as we can. Okay. All right, let's start moving into the present then. All right, let's start moving into the present. Maybe we can dig a little bit deeper as to um, why this is a fairy tale or a nightmare. What's happening in the present tense with this person? Because it seems like, for the most part, I mean, these three cards are all pretty positive. So it seems like the past wasn't like that horrible of a thing. I would love to know why that fairy tale or nightmare card is there. So let's start looking. Oh, okay. We got two for the present. All right. So we have two things going on. Number one, we have long distance lover. So this could be confirmation for you if you do have physical distance between the two of you. This could be confirmation of that. If you don't have physical distance between the two of you, it's confirmation of the emotional distance between you. Or it could be a combination of both. You could be physically far from each other and emotionally far from each other. So you could have both of those going at the same time. And it does seem like this is what your person is doing in this present moment. And that's probably why this feels like a nightmare at times, as opposed to the fairy tale, because they are running away. So you could be dealing with someone who has avoidant attachment style. You could be dealing with someone who is not, ready to be open. They're not ready to be vulnerable. They're not ready to commit. They're just not ready, period. And that's why they're running away. And that's why this is causing problems. So I kind of feel like over the holidays was probably pretty good. I feel like the holidays for you guys was actually pretty magical because we have the holidays card there of spending the holidays together. We have you are my forever, you are my everything. So I feel like over the holidays you were embracing that feeling together, that you both felt like each other's everything, you both felt like each other's forever. You guys were probably very much so into all the magic that comes with the holiday season, right? The holiday season kind of puts this magical glow over all of us, not just when it comes to love and romance, but just when it comes to life in general. People are going Christmas shopping, they're baking cookies together, they're going to tree lightings, you're watching Christmas movies, you're doing all the fun Christmas activities. Everything is decorated with garland and lights and ornaments and red and green. And it's so incredibly festive, right? It's like we're all kind of put under this spell of the holidays. It's more holly and jolly. They don't call it the most wonderful time of the year for nothing. So you guys could have kind of been under that spell together, making this relationship feel very illuminated and very happy during that time. But I feel like, once the ball dropped come New Year's Eve, it was like the relationship dropped at the same time. And this person was just like, I don't want to do this in 2024. Like, bye. Like that kind of a thing. So that could be kind of what you're dealing with now in the present moment. But let's see if there's anything else we can get for the present. Anything else we need to know dealing with this avoidant person? Oh, wow. Oh, okay. That's quite the flip of the switch with energy. It's so funny because it's like when I'm focused on like the past energy, I feel like the present energy is trying to come through. And then when I'm focused on the present energy, it's like the future energy wants to come through. Now, obviously, someone who's running away and someone who's being avoided is not going to be ready to get down on one knee and propose. That's just stating the obvious, right? But I feel like they may be running for so long and they may it's like they could run to the ends of the earth and it's going to lead them right back to the same place again, which could be proposing to you and making a commitment to you. It's like they have to run away in order to realize what it is that they truly want. But let me pull a few more just to confirm that, because I feel like that's more of like a future energy that definitely would not be what they're doing in the present moment, running away. Can we get any more information, any more 411 on the present with this person? I can be alone with you even with no words spoken, so much is said. So I do feel like this person feels comfortable with you. I feel like this person can like be in the same room with you. You guys can both like do your own individual things, and that this person doesn't feel pressure. They don't feel the pressure to act a certain way, to behave a certain way, to have to say certain things or do certain things. There's not a lot of pressure. And I feel like because there's not a lot of pressure, that kind of spooks this person. That maybe in the past, this person has been in relationships where there were a lot of expectations, that there was a lot of pressure that was involved, and they're kind of used to that. And there may have been a part of them that was kind of expecting that and anticipating that out of you, and you didn't do that to them, and you just loved them and accepted them for exactly who they were. That you were like, I'm not expecting like a ring from you or anything like that. Like, I just enjoy being with you, I just enjoy spending time with you. And that may have been the thing that actually spooked this person to run, because they were just like, oh my gosh, like, you don't want anything out of me? Like, there's not an ulterior motive here? So they may be kind of feeling that, and they enjoy this. They enjoy not being able to have that pressure with you, that they can just exist and they can just be with you. But I feel like because of that comfortableness, it's like the comfortableness has kind of spooked them in a sense to running away, because they haven't been used to that in previous relationships. All right, let me see if I can get anything else here for the present with this person. Any other information about their running away? I do feel like we got a little bit of insight there on their running away. Anything else we need to know in regards to them running away in this present moment? Okay, we got one. Healing me is healing for you. So I feel like in the meantime, Spirit is asking you to work on yourself because, we got the masculine here who's running away, and we have the feminine here who's working on herself. So I feel like that's what Spirit is asking you to do right now in this downtime. I realize you probably miss this person a lot. Like, that connection is still there. You are tied to this person no matter what you do. And you probably get nostalgic and you reminisce about, the holidays and what you guys have done together in the past. And you love and care about this person very deeply. Of course you do. This is a soul level connection. But you got to work on you and you got to take care of you, whether that means you going to therapy, you doing journaling, you meditating, you just working on you. And it doesn't even necessarily have to look like any of those things. Like, you doing you could be working on your physical health. It could be working on your financial health, maybe working on boosting your bank account or something. But either way, it's things connected and tied to you. So you work on you. And because this person is connected to you, you just taking care of yourself is going to automatically elevate them and help them as well. And eventually, maybe they'll get to the point where they're going to be like, you know what, I could probably use some therapy myself. But yeah, I feel like that's what Spirit's asking you to do right now, is to work on you. Keep the focus on you. Because you know what? Like, having this partnership is, of course, a beautiful thing. And that's lovely, but you are still the main character in your life. You are the main character. Um, they may have a major role in your life, but they're not the main character of your life. They're just a part of it. They are not your whole life. So you tap into your own personal main character energy right now and make that your focus. Now let's see about the future. Let's see where this is going. Now, we did have the Will You Marry Me card come out already, which I felt like was already going in that future direction. And I do feel like if you're working on you, this person may run themselves ragged to the point where they realize that they actually want to be with you. But let's see if there's anything else we need to know. Where is this connection going? Where is this connection headed in the future? Oh, okay. Oh my goodness. All right, we got two that just popped out like that. All right, so first of all, we have you are my true love. So I do feel like this person, already knows this. Like, they already know that you are their true love, but they're not at the point yet of like embracing that and accepting that for what it truly is yet. But, that's what you wind up doing. You wind up proposing to and committing to your true love, and that's what's going to happen. They're eventually going to get to that place. And wait, never mind. We got three that popped out here. Once again, I feel like this one is more so in reference to the present energy. We do have a case of an avoidant and anxious attachment style kind of situation here. Once again, with them being the runner, they are the avoidant person. You may have been the anxious person in this situation, but I feel like you, once again, healing yourself, working on yourself, taking care of yourself, putting that anxious energy into you as opposed to them is going to be a game changer. It is going to shift the energy like no other. So, you're transcending this energy, you're transmuting this, you're not going to be in this energy anymore. The idea is to get out of this energy where you can both get into a secure attachment style. Just because you're born into having anxious or avoidant attachment style doesn't mean you have to claim that for the rest of your life. That does not have to be your identity. With the work put into it, with some therapy and that kind of stuff, you can break that off of you and you can coach yourself and develop yourself right into a secure attachment style. So definitely we're breaking out of that. And when you do that, you guys will get into this energy. You feel safe. You are home to me. And it's like what I was saying in the breakdown here of all the different cards. This energy is the energy of being vulnerable with each other. It's being honest, it's being open, it's being receptive, it's being truthful to each other. It's about being seen and being accepted, is what it comes down to. It's about seeing each other's flaws and seeing each other's positive sides and loving all of those sides, you know, the good, the bad, the ugly, and everything in between. And it's like when you have that kind of connection, I don't care whether it's romantic love, friendship love, family love, in any kind of relationship, if you are being seen, heard, and accepted, you feel safe. You feel safe in those connections. I mean, people can be in family dynamics where they don't feel safe because they don't feel heard and they don't feel understood and they don't feel accepted. So this is not just limited to romance, but that kind of thing should be in any and every relationship in our lives that are significant and that are healthy and that are whole. And this is where you guys are headed. If you're doing the work, if you're working on yourself, they will work on themselves. And eventually you will get to that place where you can feel safe with each other. And when you feel safe, you don't feel anxious. You don't feel like you're going to lose them. You don't feel like you have to be desperate and cling to them. And they won't feel like they have to run away. They won't feel like they have to get away. They won't feel smothered or any of those kinds of things. You guys will just be happy to be with one another because you're going to know that you can be seen by that person. You can be heard by that person. You can trust that person. You can be open and vulnerable, and you will always be understood and you will always be accepted. And this is where you're headed. Now, of course, it doesn't come without the work. You know, you don't do the work, you're not going to be able to get to this. But I feel like this is 1,000,000% possible for you guys. And Spirit wouldn't be showing it if it wasn't a possible outcome, if it wasn't a potential here, if it wasn't a track that you can already be headed down. So, that's basically the love reading that I have here for you guys today. And if this message did not apply, of course, just let it fly. But if it did resonate, you know why. And I'm hoping that this was helpful and assisted at least somebody out there today. And I also hope you guys enjoyed going through Love Story. Now you've seen the whole deck, you've seen the whole thing. Once again, this deck is for sale on shadowandshine.com as well as Etsy. Links to all of that good stuff is down below in the description. So before I wrap this up and end this video here with you guys today, I just ask you to go ahead and give this video a big thumbs up because that helps me out a lot right here on the YouTube algorithm. And if I resonate with you as a reader, if you enjoyed this deck, if you enjoy my content in general, I invite you to go ahead and subscribe at this time and hit that notification bell. By doing that, you will be up to date and in the know every time a brand new reading goes up, a live happens, any news updates that I have happen to be posted for you guys, any and all of that stuff, right? So, I definitely invite you to subscribe and hit that notification bell. Also, drop me a comment down below. Feel free to say hi. Don't be shy. Even if it's just a simple small emoji, I would love to hear from you. Once again, YouTube is still a form of social media. So let's be social and let's engage here. Let's be social. Yeah, so that's that. And again, you guys, this deck is available as well as other Oracle decks on shadowandshine.com as well as Etsy. And I have readings available there as well. So if you're interested in a personal reading, that is definitely the place to go. And you can find out any other information or 411 about me there. So yeah, links to my website and all my other social media is in the description box down below. And of course, to finish off, you guys, I would like to invite you also over to Patreon. As I said in the beginning of this video, Patreon is just, it's a beautiful community. It's a beautiful space, especially if you are someone who's on the twin flame journey and it can get confusing and topsy-turvy and twisting upside down and all these other things. It's a great place to connect with other people, to have support. You can vent and all of those good things. So by all means, you're welcome to join me over there at the $5 tier and higher. You guys get the Discord access, which is where the main activity happens anyways for the community. Otherwise, we have daily card pulls, weekly card pulls, all that fun stuff. So I would love to see you over there and connect. And again, there is a free tier there as well. So if you're just curious to kind of check it out and scope it out and be a little nosy at first before you even join, that's totally an option too. So again, Patreon, that link is down in the description box too. So I am so incredibly appreciative to you guys, and thank you for hanging out here with me today and joining me on this deck walkthrough as well as the reading. Hopefully you did enjoy it. And that's basically it. So I will see you in the next reading. And I am wishing you guys a very beautiful and wonderful day. I am sending you guys lots of hugs and much love. Keep sparkling.